early in the tournament. Yesterday's scare notwithstanding that they're a better team than they were a year ago when they won the championship. Robin Ingram feels that Staples-Motley is a better team than it was a year ago. He says this year they have more options on the floor. Last year, Blaine Yeager was their #1 option. Kelly is their #1 option now, but they spread it around just a little bit more. Inside, Staples-Motley goes, and an opening basket for Chris Hire. 28 points yesterday against Ricori. And Staples-Motley opens with Kyle Stevens guarding Khalid El-Amin. Tough assignment. Yeager guarding Lockhart, and Lockhart ties it up. How the Cardinals do against this pressure may be the key factor in this game. Stolen by Khalid El-Amin. He's got Lockhart with him. Pops for three.
He makes it look so easy to come down the full court like that and pull up for a three-pointer. You called it, Dick, really the pressure part of it. If they can't get into their half-court offense, it's going to be trouble. North likes to transition, and there's nobody better in the tournament probably than Khalid El-Amin to lead it.
Addison over to Yeager. Higher off the glass for 2 more. They're going inside early as they did yesterday.
That's the game plan, and it's important for them to get off to a good start by getting the points in the paint. Lynn Peterson says we've always been an inside-out team. It's good basketball. North getting some high percentage shots also early. That one doesn't fall.
Eric Taylor with a miss. Free ball coming off for Stevens. Rebounded by Jabbar Washington. And a miss rebounded by Addison. It goes out of bounds to Staples-Motley.
Kayvon Westbury really does hit the boards well. He, of course, had that big rebound off the missed free throw that set up that whole play yesterday.
Yeager losing the ball as he crossed the line. El-Amin picks it up. Washington scores. 7-4, North in front. Deflected out of bounds by Khalid El-Amin. North out in front early.
And the Minnesota State High School League.
Janet Carvinen, Jeff Grayson, and Dick Bramer bringing you the 2 semifinal games here tonight. We'll have the 3rd place game and the championship game tomorrow night. So it might pay to memorize these names and numbers if you haven't already, because you'll see the same 4 teams tomorrow night. Eric Kelly. Three-point shooter gets to take a shot. Kelly's 2-pointer off the glass for 2.
Kelly has great touch, and that angle to use the backboard, you have to really be a good shooter with soft touch to be able to shoot from that far out and soft enough off the glass.
A blocking foul called on Kelly. That's exactly what Lynn Peterson talked about before the game tonight. I asked him, what are you going to do with Khalid El-Amin? So they're going to put Stevens on him, and if he gets around Stevens, everybody has to help. And you can see Kelly shifting just a little bit, moving his hip over. Good call. And Kelly picks up his first foul. Neither team is very deep. Yesterday, each team played just 6 players, and now the Bowlers can't get the ball inbound. Up ahead for Yeager. Stevens lost the dribble, got it back to Kelly. Pass deflected by Washington. And rolling out of bounds, Staples-Motley will get it. Eric Taylor fell on the ball and ended up rolling with the ball out of bounds. What a job Lynn Peterson has done. I think that one Class A team could. There's a steal on the inbounds by Westbury. Quick outlet to El-Amin, and Lockhart at the other end.
You don't see many teams move up the court as quickly as North does. Before you know it, they've got 4 blue shirts down on their front court.
And a foul on Westbury. He is so good defensively. Robin Ingram calls him his best defensive player, which is saying something given all the heat that Colin Elamine and Lockhart can put on the ball.
That's true, and at 6'1", he's quick enough to guard the quickest guards, but he also can go inside against people.
Taylor came out to guard Kelly. Kelly fires a 3 and misses. Rebounded by Lockhart. To Elamine. Back to Lockhart. Now they'll bring it back out. Elamine, 17-footer. Off the glass, no good. Tipped by Westbury, no good. Finally rebounded by Dan Otteson. On the run. Shot blocked. And out of bounds, it'll go to Staples. What a huge block. Was that Washington that got above the rim to block it?
I think it was. He was up there.
Coming in for the Polars, Andre Gray. He is the only player to come off the bench for North yesterday. And I think they're a little concerned about Tavon Westbury, who rolled his ankle.
He rolled it on the other end, actually, going up for that rebound follow-up.
Higher fires from 17 in and out. Rebounded by Taylor. Drives and scoops it up. Ozzie Lockhart with 6. Lockhart, of course, did not play in the championship game a year ago. And the academic suspension. He and Chris Rainey sat the game out, and the Polars won anyway.
Well, Lockhart is capable of scoring some big numbers. He only had 5 yesterday, but if he gets hot, it's really going to help North.
Yeager's been struggling with his shot, but he buried a 3. Last year it was Blaine Yeager who scored 28 points in the championship game. Younger brother Jeff hits a big 3 to pull Staples-Motley within 2. Lockhart drives, and he stepped on the baseline. Good help defense by Chris Heyer. He came over to help defensively and forced a North turnover, the 3rd on the Polars in the game. Kelly's yet, I think, to take a shot. He is not scored. Pass inside, batted, still got to Heyer. He goes up against the double team. Tip no good. Otteson controls the rebound. Kelly for 3. Staples-Motley with the lead.
Kelly is 6 for 9 from, actually 7 for 10 from 3-point range in the tournament. 70%, not bad, huh, Dick?
On the year, a 45% three-point shooter, which is outstanding, and he's done even better than that in the tournament. Gray with Kelly guarding him. Gray fires a 3, no good. Washington with the rebound. Tip no good. Yeager gets the rebound. Stevens. Heyer. Blocked by Washington. Another big block for Jabbar Washington. The ball goes out of bounds. Staples-Motley will get it back. Tavon Westbury back in for the Polars, but we got a timeout on the Van Bell scoreboard.
Here's Staples-Motley trying to take advantage of beating the pressure just a little bit. There's Chris Heyer taking it in, and Washington taking him out.
I misspoke a moment ago. Eric Kelly did have the bank shot for a 2. He later hit a 3, so he has 5 points. Staples-Motley with the lead and the basketball.
Westbury back in, number 22. See how he'll move on that ankle.
Kelly looked at a 25-footer. Stevens looked at a 20-footer. Oh, great pass from Kelly to Heyer. What a beautiful setup. 6 for Chris Heyer.
Great ball movement by Staples-Motley. That's what they have to do, is look quickly and pass the ball quickly to get it inside.
Jabbar Washington misses. Follow up by Taylor, and he's fouled by Otteson. First foul on Otteson, second Staples-Motley foul. Talking about Lynn Peterson and the great job he has done. You get a look at the miss and the resulting foul. Think about it, though. 2 Sweet 16 formats, and a Class A team, the same Class A team, has gotten to the Final Four each year, and who knows, maybe they'll pull off what would have to be considered an upset here and get to the championship game 2 years in a row.
He has done a great job in building the program. He started out in a little town called Deer Creek, Minnesota, which is real close where I grew up in New York Mills, and built great basketball teams there, even though they were a very small school.
2 misses for Carrick Taylor. Westbury doesn't seem to be slowed with his ankle injury. Kelly with a drive hit the bottom of the rim. Elamine with the save to Westbury. Now Washington spins away from Yeager. 4 for Jabbar Washington.
And North really hustling tonight. They're going after all the loose balls. Really putting a lot of effort in. Robin Ingram come down on his team about that a little bit in last night's team against St. Thomas Academy, but they've come out ready to play.
Kelly all alone. He misses a 3. Taylor rebounds. And the Polars have a chance to take the lead. Khalid Elamine with the foul on Stevens before the shot. Stevens committing his first personal foul. Quite a different game from yesterday's game for Robin Ingram. I think Khalid Elamine already had 10 points in the first quarter in yesterday's game. Just 3 so far here tonight.
Well, Ingram told me last night it was halftime of the St. Thomas Academy game. He said, tonight if we're going to win, it's going to have to be Khalid leading the way. And he certainly was right about that, because had it not been for every one of Khalid's 41 points, North would not have been in this game tonight.
If they set up Elamine for a 3 here. No, it's Lockhart who takes it. Tonight it's Ozzie Lockhart with 9 points.
Civic Center, Jeff Grayson with a familiar face, Blaine Yeager. Blaine, last year played for Staples-Motley. What's this like for you, watching your brother and the Cardinals play tonight?
Well, it's exciting. I didn't think it'd bother me as much not playing until this tip-off of this game. When the guys came on the floor, I started getting goosebumps. Probably because it was a championship game last year, but I'm enjoying myself in the stands.
A year later, when you look back at the '95 championship, what are your memories of that game? I mean, I know it didn't go the way you wanted, but people here are still talking about last year's game.
Yeah, well, obviously the tip back that beat us, that's a heartbreaker. We'll probably never forget that, but I don't know, just the overall, the fan memories, the community involvement, I probably remember most, even more so than the games.
Tell us what you're doing now before we send it back to Dick.
I'm at Mankato State University. I redshirted this year, so I'll have 4 years of eligibility left after this year, so looking forward to it. Got a good shot at starting, and if I don't start, I'll get lots of playing time, so I'm excited.
Thanks for joining us, Blaine.
No problem.
Dick?
All right, thank you very much. Chris Heyer fires and ties the game up. 8 for Chris Heyer.
Well, Heyer has really improved since last year, and so has Otteson. We talked about how Otteson in the middle, number 43, has dropped over 50 pounds and gotten in better condition and stronger. And that's what they've had to do to be able to replace the scoring punch from Yeager, who had 28 points in last year's championship game against Minneapolis North.
5 for Khalid Elamine. The Cardinals start 4 juniors and a sophomore. Pretty good. Good bet. We'll see them in the 2A championship next year, or at least in the state tournament. Kelly for 3. Little bit long. Heyer slaps the rebound out, and a whistle and a foul called. If it's on Kelly, that's his second. Eric Kelly picking up his second foul.
There's Kelly on the 3-point, hits the back of the rim, and Heyer keeps it alive, and Kelly got called for the foul. Elamine had the better position. And that's going to be an important thing to watch right there. If Eric Kelly gets in foul trouble, it's going to be a difficult night, because not only is he a main ball handler, but he's also such a leader and a scoring threat on the floor.
Alley-oop for Washington, tipped by Kelly out of bounds. And off the fingertips of Washington. The Cardinals will get it. Big defensive play by Eric Kelly. The Polars by 2. Kelly to tie it up. Rebounded by Heyer. Rejected by Washington. His third block of the half. Lockhart scores it. Ozzie Lockhart has 11 first-half points. 6 minutes to play in the half.
Well, Yeager with the basketball right there is going to have to make sure he gets back on defense a little bit more quickly when Eric Kelly goes in there for a shot or a rebound.
Lost off the fingertips of Stevens.
Stevens is wide open, but again, look at the quickness of Washington and North.
Polars have been doing this more this year than last year, bringing it out, trying to bring the defense out to them. Elamine with 7, and North has its largest lead. Kelly brings the ball up. 2 of 7 from the field so far for Eric Kelly. Credit some of that at least to Kayvon Westbury. Heyer lost it off the fingertips out of bounds. Washington tried to disrupt the pass and may have done so. Lynn Peterson confessed, yeah, he wanted this game. When he saw that his team was going to be in here, he assumed North was going to be in here. He got a look at the brackets, and yeah, this is what they wanted.
You mentioned how North likes to slow the ball down on occasion and spread the floor. It has been very effective for them, and they're a team, you know, they can run and are great in transition, but yet when it comes down to half-court execution, they can really control the basketball and the tempo of the game.
Other teams have been trapped into doing what North wants, spreading the defense out, and 3 passes and about 2.5 seconds later there's a ball going through the basket. Staples being a little bit more deliberate. 2-man game. Elamine to Washington. The shot missed. Taylor with the rebound and a second foul on Kyle Stevens.
Well, there's a shot off the pick and roll by Washington, but it's Carrick Taylor with the offensive rebound. He only had 4 points yesterday, but he had a big night on the first day of basketball here against Mayo. He was a perfect 9 for 9 from the field with 18 points for Carrick Taylor.
He's missed 2 free throws already tonight. That's short.
Not many people can say they shot 100% from the field in a game.
No.
Unless they were maybe 1 for 1 or something.
Yeah, Taylor went 9 for 9, Washington 8 for 9, and neither one of them was our player of the game.
That's right. That was the kind of balance that we saw that first night against Mayo.
It's a 7-point lead for Minneapolis North on the First Bank scoreboard. Lee will be in the 2A bracket. Inbounded to Kelly. Kelly played for Lynn Peterson as an 8th grader. He's a 3-year starter. Barely got it across to Yeager. Heyer is fouled by Jabbar Washington. Washington trying for his 4th block.
Well, he's made some big ones early, but on this one you can see he came kind of from behind.
Well, the block was clean, but it looked like he got him. This gives you some idea about his athleticism. Got him with a knee in the back. He'd gotten up so high, looked like he kneed higher between the shoulder blades.
I don't think I ever kneed anybody in the back before.
Not while they were standing, anyway.
No.
That breaks a 7-point run for North. Less than 4 minutes to play in the half. Kelly guarding Westbury. The lesser of the offensive threat for the North Polars. And he gets a follow-up basket off of a miss by Elamine. As Staples-Motley fans right now are cringing with the flashback. Did he get the timeout? Yes. Falling out of bounds. Heyer called a timeout before turning the ball over. 3:32 left in the first half with North leading by 7.
The man was an animal.
Jeffrey?
All through lunch, there's bacon flying this way, cheese flying that way.
Hardee's introduces the ultimate bacon cheeseburger.
He didn't just eat it, he attacked it.
Sizzling baked melted Swiss and American cheese. It's all burger. All mine.
So what'd you do then?
Took him to a chick flick.
That's some burger.
Tonight, shopping.
The new ultimate bacon cheeseburger from Hardee's.
So what did you have for lunch today?
Enjoy the ultimate...
Motley trying to do that. Right now the Polars lead it by 7. Westbury nearly saved it for Elamine. Elamine takes a little rest along the Staples-Motley bench. .323 left in the first half. A lot is going to be expected and asked of Eric Kelly in tonight's game. So much of the ball handling responsibility against relentless pressure, and the question of course is how will he do with that and whether all that extra work will affect his shot. A foul called on Westbury, and that is his second foul.
Well, I don't think Kelly had the best shot in the world that time, but just trying to get something to happen and taking some initiative there. You can see him driving into the free throw line, shot fake and going forward into the defense. Smart play to get to the free throw line.
North with 3 team fouls. Westbury with 2 of them. For Eric Kelly. 3 minutes to play. A 6-point North lead. Elamine over Stevens. I don't think he's missed.
You know, there's not a whole lot you can do about that as a defender. Stevens is playing him tight and tough, but Elamine just can stop and pop and send right over you to nail those shots. Anything in the paint for him is gravy.
Lob for Heyer, and it's knocked out of bounds by Jabbar Washington.
Washington's been fronting Heyer, and that's a smart play for Staples-Motley to look for the lob, but again, Washington finding a way to bust up the play.
Heyer on the inbounds, goes up strong and scores. 12 for Chris Heyer. Elamine playing with a slightly sore right hand, although you'd be hard-pressed to tell it. 11 points for Colin Elamine. And with 2 minutes to play, North has an 8-point lead. Zone. Polars dropping back into a 2-3. Lobbed inside off the fingertips of Heyer. Yeager's pass just a little bit too long, and now Andre Gray comes off the North bench. And he'll replace Kayvon Westbury, who leaves the game with 2 fouls. Minute and a half to play in the first half. Lockhart. I don't think he's missed.
Oh, they hot.
13 for Lockhart. North getting almost all of its scoring from its 2 outstanding guards, Elamine and Lockhart.
this together, though. And that's why they're so dangerous. Before you know it, you're down 10 points.
Stevens for three. Short. Rebound to Taylor. Elamine. Two more. Their field goal percentage for the half is going to be phenomenal. Inside, Addison misses a short one. Second try, no good, but he's fouled by Taylor.
Addison going to the line now has not really been involved very much in the offense. He's going to need to become a lot more aggressive in wanting the basketball, calling for it, and trying to, again, be more aggressive on the offensive boards.
Jerry Hinton into the ball game for North as Eric Taylor will sit down. Addison's first point. Then Peterson 2 and 1 against AA teams over the last 2 years. The loss, of course, to North in the championship game. North shooting 62% from the field in the half.
Somehow you just knew he was going to take it.
Colin Elamine with 41 last night. And in the first half, he's got 17, and the Polars lead by 14. A year ago, Staples-Motley led this game at the half by 5. And North is shooting the lights out of the basket in the first half. It's a 14-point lead here. Stevens to Kelly. Yeager blocked by Lockhart. Lead pass too far for Washington. I think for the Cardinals to get off to a good start here in the third quarter. They're down about as far as they can afford to be down with 16 minutes to play. They're a good three-point shooting team, but the Polars are not letting them take uncontested three-point shots. Yeager tried one and had it stuffed back in his face. Stevens drives. And a foul on Lockhart. First foul on Ozzie Lockhart.
Glenn Peterson told me in a couple games Stevens had to step it up and scored up to 16 points in games when Heyer was double teamed inside. And nice look at the basket by him here to take the ball into the paint to get to the free throw line.
Stevens, the sophomore in the starting lineup for Staples-Motley. And we talked about the fact that they start 4 juniors and a sophomore. Minneapolis North starts 3 juniors, a sophomore, and 1 senior. 1 of 2 for Kyle Stevens. Colin Elamine with 17 first half points. And if you didn't watch yesterday's game, he had 20 in the first half yesterday.
Staples-Motley looking like they're in a 1-3-1 zone right now.
One thing St. Thomas Academy did so well yesterday against where they switched defenses, confused them a little bit.
Well, North hasn't shown any signs of letting up or playing bad basketball. That's why it takes such a game plan to be able to pull off a win over them. You need to have a lot of variety on defense, but you also need to convert on the offensive end, take good care of the basketball, play almost a perfect game.
Heyer gets the basket, and there's a foul. Foul on Jabbar Washington, his second foul. See Kelly losing the ball, then Heyer leaning into the lane, drawing the foul, and getting the basket to go. Washington will check out of the game. And Gray is back in. A missed free throw, but the ball goes out of bounds to Staples-Motley. Jerry Hinton into the ball game for North. Higher inside goes against Hinton, and it rolls off, but another North foul. Hinton picking up his first.
And Peterson seemingly a little bit happier about what he's seeing on this offensive end.
Third team foul on North. Chris Hire.
There's a bounce pass into Hire, and the foul by Hinton across the arms.
First 3 fouls of the half go against North. And Staples-Motley gets the first 5 points of the half. Playing zone.
Jeff Yeager's going to have to cover that baseline and make sure that he covers all the way out from.
Elamine off the glass, too hard. The tip no good. Another tip no good. And a foul on Hire. That'll be his first.
Fouls on the Cardinals, number 54.
Elamine goes hard after his own rebound there for the tip in. He had the inside position there, though.
5:47 left in the third of the Jeep Eagles scoreboard. Staples-Motley trying to climb back into it. Class. If they don't win tonight, we'll have an all Class A final. We have 2 Class A teams meeting in our second game tonight. Fertile Beltrami against Minnehaha Academy.
Staples-Motley's only loss this year came to a AA school, Fergus Falls, and they did avenge that loss. Later in the season, they would like to avenge the loss from North last year, though, I'm sure.
Great ball movement, but a careless pass tipped by Hire and recovered by Kelly. Washington tried to feed it across to Elamine. Too much hang time on the pass. Stevens is blocked and fouled by Westbury, and that's his third.
Already the 4th team foul on North in this second half with just 3 minutes played.
Robin Ingram looking on. I mentioned neither team is what you would call deep. But now a little bit of foul trouble for Kayvon Westbury. Lockhart has really been giving Yeager troubles trying to get his spots on the floor to shoot. Stevens recovered it. Tied up. Jump ball, and it'll go to the Polars. Jumping on the pile, Jabbar Washington.
Number 34, Andre Gray back into the ballgame.
Andre Gray back into the ball game. I talked with Lynn Peterson before the game about, playing 6, maybe 7 players. He went through the whole tournament last year like that. Robin Ingram is going to his bench more in this game than he did yesterday. But Lynn Peterson said, well, this is something you can. Oh, careless loss of the ball by Gray. Threw it right to Hire. Kelly driving. Reverse layup. Oh, beautiful play for Eric Kelly.
So you're seeing a little spark from Staples-Motley.
They get the first 7 points of the half. But Lynn Peterson was saying you can afford to play with a short bench because of all the TV timeouts and the longer breaks at the end of the quarters. Your players are better rested. So it's not just playing 4 games in 4 days. It's the breaks during the games that allow coaches to play with a little bit shorter bench in the state tournament.
Some coaches like that, like Lynn Peterson probably thinks that's great for him. Some teams that play a real fast-paced style of game, they don't like the interruptions, and they think it alters their game style.
Lockhart tipped by Washington. Washington with 6 points. In this game, every play that's been made above the rim has been made by Jabbar Washington. Yeager makes the three. Lockhart flies past him. And the rebound to Gray. The basket by Washington broke a 7-0 Staples-Motley run. And North went 4 minutes, 15 seconds before it scored a point in the third quarter.
Washington had 16 points in both of the first two games. He's been very consistent for them. Just 6 tonight so far, but he definitely makes his presence known on the court.
Kelly traveled. You know, it's neat to see. We saw it after yesterday's game, after Khalid El-Amin scored 41 points. And he addressed his fellow North students and said, hey, we're going to win back-to-back championships. That's confidence. What about Lynn Peterson at halftime? His team is down by 14 points. Says, oh, no, we'll get back into the game. I mean, confidence is so essential at this level. You better have it or you're not going to get here in the first place.
And if any of the Staples-Motley players had their doubts, and I'm sure that some of them did, Lynn Peterson probably made believers of them when he went into the locker room and told them, we're going to come back here, guys. And it's contagious, whether it's El-Amin or the coach. It really does spread throughout the team.
El-Amin from 17. Rebounded by Stevens. It's a 9-point game. North forcing 10 first-half turnovers, getting 12 points from those turnovers. Stevens short with a three, rebounded by Lockhart. El-Amin lays it in. 19 for Khalid El-Amin.
Add 2 more points, the points off the turnovers.
And a miss inside for Otteson. He's had a tough night tonight. He's had some close-in tries, and he's come up empty-handed. He has 2 points from the free throw line, and that's it. 1:35 left in the third quarter. Staples-Motley had the lead down to 7, and now it's back to 11. Talk about bad memories for Staples-Motley. Now the Polars pull the ball out with a minute and a half left. This is what they did in the fourth quarter of last year's championship game.
I'm sure Lynn Peterson has had a whole year to think about what he'd do if that happened to him again.
Ozzie Lockhart starts applauding, wanting his section of North fans to make some noise here. We'll see if the Polars can beat another buzzer if they do, in fact, run out the rest of the period. Now, maybe they're not going to do that. Yeah, this is what North has done a number of times in the tournament. Brought the defense out and then so quickly made 3, maybe 4 crisp passes and getting an easy basket. They kind of decoy the defense into thinking they're going to run the period out. This time they might be sincere in running out the period. Gee, I wonder who's going to take the shot. It's not El-Amin, it's Jabbar Washington, and he is blocked with 7.7 seconds left in the third period. And there's an injured player, and it is Washington. No, it's not Washington. I beg your pardon. It's Khalid El-Amin, who is down along the baseline.
And Heyer got injured also. He's grimacing and holding his arm in pain.
Hold your breath. We'll take a break and be back in a moment.
Another day. Go to the office. Go to a meeting. Get lunch.
Can I take your order?
Go to the bank. Take the dog to the vet for shots.
When you're being tested all day, why not test this? Eagle Talon. Sporty, fun to drive, and it won't test your budget.
Pick up Mom at the airport.
So, you ever gonna get married?
Maybe take Mom back to the airport.
Eagle Talon just might be the best part of your day.
See your local Jeep and Eagle dealer.
Cover
Cover your walls with quality Glidden paint from Menards. You'll find a finish to suit any room. Spreadwall has a flat finish that's ideal for bedrooms and dining rooms. Just $7.44 a gallon. Spread Low Luster gives a low gloss look to kitchens and baths. Now $10.58. If there's a special color you'd like, Glidden's color matching computer will get the color you want. Menards has you covered with Glidden paint.
Save big money at Menards.
Take a look at what happened here to Khalid El Amin. As he drives into the lane, he takes a forearm here from Heyer, who went up to try to block the pass or the shot. Looks like he got the forearm right across the bridge of the nose. He is up now and is okay. The fear was, of course, that he might have landed on a foot, sprained an ankle or worse. He will leave the game. I saw some blood. He is bleeding a little bit, but it doesn't appear to be anything serious. So, very good news for Khalid El Amin and his hundreds of thousands of fans. Wouldn't be the same tournament without him in here, would it? Into the ball game is Jerome Hubbard for North. Probably for just the balance of the third period. Jamar Washington will go to the line for 2 free throws. Staples-Motley with 2 fouls in the second half.
Washington can extend their lead to 13 if he hits these.
El Amin saying, "You got me right on the lips." If there's a cut, it appears to be a minor one. Yeager. This is Heyer, and they get 2 back in a hurry. And now they're going to call a turnover, I think, before the period is over with. The Polars turned it over, but now they're going to run the balance of the time off in the third period. So no turnover. There was a inbounds violation, but the Cardinals get 2 back right before the buzzer to get within 11 on the Lincoln Mercury Dealer scoreboard.
There are bounties in life you couldn't begin to measure, and yields that take a generation to know. For the other crop coming up, there's Basis post-emergence herbicide. Basis has won past control of the grasses and broadleaf weeds that worry you most for about $12 an acre, half the cost of most pre-programs. Basis, 'cause life's a harvest, and corn isn't all you're raising.
The rewards of Lincoln have been recognized by the most discerning Americans. For the 3rd year in a row, the Robb Report has named Lincoln Town Car one of the 5 best luxury cars in the world. Plus, Consumers Digest just named Town Car a 1996 Best Buy. And now, with this $399 a month lease, plus an additional $500 for current Lincoln lease customers, Town Car is an even better buy. Lincoln Town Car, what a luxury car should be.
43-32. Here's the cause for the confusion at the end of the third period. Heyer gets the basket. Watch Kayvon Westbury. He's inbounds. He leaps. He never went out of bounds delivering the inbounds pass, but you can see there was, if there was any time left, it was just a fraction of a second.
Less than a second, yeah. Right.
10 North turnovers. Staples-Motley's turned it over 12 times, and the Cardinals get the ball to begin play here in the 4th quarter. Got their work cut out for them.
Oh, they certainly do, and again, with the tempo control that North has, it makes that comeback even more difficult.
And that's the one element I've been the most impressed with this year from North. There's Odison, excuse me, his first field goal of the game. They nickname him Moose, but that's not really an appropriate nickname anymore because he's lost 65 pounds from 2 years ago. A 9-point game. Khalid El Amin remains on the bench to start the 4th quarter. Westbury in a tough spot, getting it back for Jerome Hubbard. Washington from 8 feet. Short, rebounded by Addison. Staples-Motley needs somebody to step up big in the fourth quarter. Maybe it'll be Dan Addison. Addison lost it on the floor to Lockhart. And a blocking foul call on Eric Kelly. That's his third foul. Jeff, what's going on with Khalid El-Amin?
Just talked with the trainer, Dick. They had the smelling salts ready there for a second. He looked like for a second he was pretty woozy, but they didn't need to use the smelling salt. Got an elbow in the nose, a little bit of a bloody nose. They're putting ice on it right now. Trainer said he just needs to catch his breath for a second. They expect him back in a couple of minutes. Back to you.
All right. Yeah, if Staples-Motley trims the lead by another basket or two, I think we'll see him back in the game. Westbury underneath for 2. Good feed from Lockhart. Westbury's first basket of the game. Kelly, a long three. Short. Rebounded in the lane by Taylor. Cardinals need points, but you need to be very careful with your shot selection here. You don't want to take any quick shots. And that might have been the case there from Kelly. Lockhart in the lane. Beautiful play. 15 for Ozzie Lockhart. And the lead goes back to 13.
And North continuing to shoot the ball well. They cooled off a little bit in the third quarter. They are getting the right shot. High percentage shots for North.
Staples-Motley calls a timeout with 5:53 left in the fourth quarter.
The Thompsons got their home equity installment loan from First Bank, not just because they could finance their car and deduct the interest, or get convenient ways to manage their money, or pay for the new addition to their home. They chose First Bank because the bank loaned them 100% of the equity in their home, which let them consolidate their finances and their family all at once.
For special rates and no closing costs, apply by phone today.
There's nothing like a Jimmy to help you stay on top of things. Get some peace of mind. Get a Jimmy. GMC is a proud television broadcast sponsor of the Minnesota State High School Tournament.
Welcome back to the St. Paul Civic Center. Jeff Grayson, Janet Carvinen, and Dick Bramer bringing you our first semifinal game. We have mentioned a number of times that we think Minneapolis North might be better than the team that won the state championship a year ago. One of the reasons they might be better is Carrick Taylor. He doesn't score much, but he does a great job on the boards, and tonight he's leading the floor with 7 rebounds. He's a transfer from Minneapolis South. Higher spins away from Washington, rolls out, and Washington gets the rebound. And back at the other end, Jamar Washington scores the basket.
North keeps scoring while Staples-Motley has missed a couple really close inside shots that would have helped them a lot. I mentioned Taylor. He's number 40 in blue, matched up against Addison inside, and he's really made it tough for Addison tonight to even get open.
Kelly misses a 3, and it's been an off-night shooting for Eric Kelly. Washington has 10 points. Lockhart has 15. El-Amin has 19. And Robin Ingram was worried about how Staples-Motley spreads their offense around. That's pretty good balance when you've got 3 guys, as the Polars do, in double figures already. 5 minutes to play in the game. Cardinals can't sit back in the zone anymore. They've got to play man-to-man, hope for some turnovers and some missed shots. Washington hits from the outside. That's been the problem. North isn't missing any shots tonight.
They really aren't. Washington doesn't even shoot very often from the perimeter. He's mostly an inside player, but they're showing that he can hit the jumper.
Alley-oop, a little bit too far for Higher. Saved by Kelly. Now Stevens dropping it down low. Addison too strong. Rebounded by Taylor. A very frustrating night for Dan Addison. 8-0 run for the Polars. And they've got the basketball, and they've been doing it without Khalid El-Amin. Otteson with 2 fouls. Lockhart with 13 of those points coming in the first half. But Robin Ingram's going back to the championship game for the 2nd straight year. Lockhart with 2 made free throws. A big run for the Polars to start the 4th quarter, and it's a 19-point lead.
Has amazing savings for all your spring projects. Get your lawn and garden in shape with tillers from Weed Eater. This garden tiller is $249. A rear tine tiller, $479. Keep your car or truck running strong with Quaker State Motor Oil. A case is $7.08 after rebate. That's just 59 cents per quart. Stock up on spring savings at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
From tournaments past, this great clip is brought to you by Great Clips for Hair.
With the score tied in the final seconds of the 1995 Boys Basketball Championship game, Minneapolis North star Khalid El Amin misses, but Kayvon Westbury puts in the follow-up with 1.5 seconds left, and Minneapolis North defeats Staples-Motley for the championship.
This great clip brought to you by Great Clips for Hair.
The Cards have not gotten a point in 3.5 minutes here in the 4th quarter, and that is not the type of streak you want when you are down going into the 4th quarter. Khalid El Amin has not played in the 4th quarter. We should mention, after their dramatic win yesterday, some people were upset with how North reacted in jumping on the table. You can see they're shooting the ball very well, and or did in the 3rd quarter. And apparently some fans were upset enough to call the TV station. Jabbar Washington tips it free. Gets the basket and an intentional foul on top of it. Just to complete the thought, Robin Ingram and Khalid El Amin did go by the TV truck before the game tonight and did offer their apologies. And certainly there are no hard feelings here. We hope if they win that they don't run over us again, but it was a nice gesture by Robin Ingram and Khalid El Amin of the North Polars to do that.
Well, everybody gets excited when they win, but it's important that you don't put anybody else in a dangerous position, and then also celebrate appropriately.
Well, this has been a pretty impressive game here for the North Polars. Washington will get 2 free throws, and then the Polars will get the basketball.
Well, I think Heyer wanted to take him down and make sure that Washington couldn't even attempt the shot, but he didn't want to. I think he was too nice, but he didn't want to do anything that would be considered cheap, too. When someone's on the run, you don't want to take their legs out from under them or undercut them. And he kind of just tried to hold on to Jabbar, but Washington still converted.
Some confusion as to how many free throws Washington gets. And some confusion along the North bench as to whether that basket counted. Washington gets both free throws.
And North ball. Things looking very bleak for Staples-Motley,
sure
trailing 23 points here, 3:49 to play.
Well, a 4-point play already, and now the Polars get the basketball. And North has not needed Khalid El Amin here in the 4th quarter. That is not an insignificant fact. They certainly needed him yesterday, and he was had another very good game going here tonight, but they have expanded on their lead without their best player.
Fouls on the Cardinals, number 3, Jeff Yeager. That's his 2nd personal.
Staples-Motley, they'll make an appearance in the 3rd place game tomorrow. And North will go to the championship game. Ozzie Lockhart, who has the ball now, will feel much more a part of the championship game tomorrow night. He's been waiting a long time for tomorrow night's game. Jerome Hubbard with a nice drive, but couldn't get the basket. Kelly for three, in and out. Heyer went up for a follow-up and got slapped out of his hands by Washington. Great pass, and Otteson misses again. It's been that kind of a night. Lockman takes it all the way in, but it rolls off. Washington in the corner. You know what? Jabbar Washington would be a star on another team. Don't hear as much about him as you would if he were not on the same team with Colin Elamine.
Well, they've got a lot of really good role players. Westbury does a lot of nice things. But Washington, again, at 6'2", he plays like 6'5" to me because he really gets up. He comes through in the crunch.
Washington got 27 points against Osseo in the section final to lead the Polars. Timeout is called with 2:22 left. The Polars are headed back to the championship game.
Dairy Queen announces the ultimate super value meal. Start with 66% more beef than a Big Mac, sizzling bacon, 2 layers of cheese, 2 fresh tomato slices, lettuce and zesty sauce. With fries and a drink, it's just $3.49. It's the DQ Homestyle Ultimate. The ultimate super value meal, just $3.49. Only at Dairy Queen. For hot eats, cool treats, think DQ.
After one half of football, San Francisco leads New York 540 to 310.
In the future, it won't be just how hard you play, but how good your sports drink works. With a third more carbs than Gatorade and B vitamins to unlock carbohydrate energy. All Sport is not just a thirst quencher. It's a body quencher.
Isn't that new 300-pound ball? Yeah, here you go.
Welcome back to the St. Paul Civic Center for Minneapolis North. They've put together several big runs against Staples-Motley. Jabbar Washington will go to the line for a 1-and-1. There is no such thing, but if there were an all-smile team in the boys basketball tournament, Jabbar Washington would be first team.
That is for sure. Robin Ingram, of course, very proud of his team. 11 of his 14 players have made the AB honor roll this year.
Heyer hits. Tough pass inside from Yeager, but he got it there. Heyer with 18 points. Check that, he's got 20. That's a big basket for Staples-Motley. A little bit too little too late. You see Elamine is back in the game, but North had run off 15 straight points. Lost in the lane, and a traveling call on Carrick Taylor. The iron 5 for Staples, I think. I don't believe they've substituted the entire game. Kelly from the corner, and he finally hits a 3, his second three-point basket. 11 points for Eric Kelly. Elamine shaking off a little rust after his several minutes on the bench. Taking it all the way in. Elamine has 21 points.
Colin Elamine, number 42 out there, he does what he has to do, what his team needs him to do at any given occasion. If they need him to score, he'll score. If they need him to set up other people, that's what he does.
Yeah, against Mayo, they didn't need him to score. He ended up with 12 points.
And he said he missed a few shots early and it didn't feel like his shot was on, so he decided to concentrate on other things. But no matter what his role is, he's always helping a team. He does. I don't know if I've seen him turn the ball over hardly ever during the state tournament.
It will continue until 11 a.m. at North Community High School.
Cardinals will get the basketball with 1:15 left. finds Otteson, and finally some good luck for Dan Otteson. 6 points. It's a 20-point ball game, just over a minute to play. Jason Spellman in the game. He has some bad luck, and Otteson gets the rebound. Yeager over to Stevens. Kevon Westbury hasn't scored much tonight. He typically doesn't, but he's done a great job on defense, specifically on Eric Kelly. Now a traveling call as Elamine forces Stevens to stagger.
That's kind of been the story tonight. The defensive pressure by North really causing problems for Staples-Motley, whether it's getting the ball up the court, getting the ball inside. It's been a tough road for them.
A Cardinal timeout with 33 seconds left. Well, it was an intriguing matchup, but clearly this was not the type of game we had last year in the championship game. North played this game as if they were waiting for this game for almost a full year. Let's go to Jeff Grayson.
Nick, we get calls a lot asking for the consolation scores because you don't see those teams on television after they're out of the championship bracket. So we want to tell you that Rocori defeated St. Thomas Academy 74-72, and they'll face Eden Prairie in the consolation championship. The Eagles defeated JWP by a score of 66-51. So it'll be Rocori against Eden Prairie tomorrow at 4 for the consolation championship. Hope that helps fans of those schools. Back to you, Dick.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. We try to be diligent and give those scores, but we've neglected to tonight. And by the way, you can forgive Mike Manning if he wants to give up coaching, because he got beaten on a buzzer beater, a 3-point basket in the consolation bracket again this afternoon. Back-to-back heartbreaking losses for St. Thomas Academy. We're not suggesting that, Mike. You're a great coach, but we can understand your frustration.
Number 54, Alvarez.
30 seconds left in this first semifinal game.
Wow, that's tough.
Even down by 20. Lynn Peterson leaves his starters in the game. I do not believe he substituted the entire game. Bob Hazuka sometimes comes off the bench. Rob Opheim.
Number 12.
You know, we saw the St. Thomas Academy team leaving after the game last night, and they just looked totally drained. Manning looked like they were just emotionally spent. They almost had trouble getting up the stairs to get out of here. And I think North kind of has that effect on people. They just take it to you, and certainly losing on a last-second shot is even more difficult.
Nice touch here for Lynn Peterson. Jim Goff, one of the few seniors on the team, getting into the game, replacing Dan Otteson. 1 of 2 for Jason Spellman. Yeah, they tried to get Goff the ball, but the pass tipped away. North takes another step toward back-to-back Sweet 16 championships. A convincing 62-41 win over Staples-Motley. Just one game in the last 2 years. That was a game on the road against New London Spicer. Close game. Got up into the 80s.
New London Spicer, of course, knocked off by Minnehaha Academy, a team that we will see later tonight in our next game against Fertile Beltrami.
Hey, nice Nice touch. Thank you. Congratulations. Khalid El-Amin making a point to come over here and apologize in person for what happened after the game. And that tells you a lot more about that young man than I think you saw after the game yesterday. Things kind of slipped away emotionally for El-Amin and his team, and a nice touch there. We do appreciate that. Let's go to Jeff Grayson.
All right, thanks to Olin Khalid, and I'm with Jabbar Washington. Guys, you're playing for the championship again. Congratulations on the win, first of all. I think, Khalid, let's start with you from a health standpoint. How are you feeling? You really got tagged.
I got banged up, my nose and my lip, but right now I'm feeling all right. I just got to rest, ice it. I'll be all right for tomorrow.
Jabbar, I want to ask you relating to that. You got one of your best player on the bench, start of the fourth quarter, and you guys increased the lead. What did that say about you guys?
That shows how much talent we got and how much teamwork we have. Everybody stepped up in the fourth quarter when he was out, and he was back there cheering us on the loudest.
What did this game mean to you guys, Khalid, after last year? I mean, they played you guys to the final gun, and here we go again in the semis to beat them like this.
It means a lot to us. We knew they were going to come out hard, trying to play aggressive with us, but God bless us, we were just a better team tonight.
What does this mean to be back here? You're on the threshold of a repeat.
It means a lot. It means a lot to us, to the North Side community. It just means a lot to everybody who's a part of it.
What was it like for you, watching from the bench, watching your guys come through the way they did?
I liked it, but I enjoyed it, but I don't think I can get used to that.
Jabbar, coming off the game yesterday, what was that like after such an emotional game, winning it at the buzzer with your friend right here? What was it like to come back? What were you guys like emotionally?
Hey, I got to say, this is the greatest point guard anywhere. I'll take him over anybody. And, I mean, the team put us in that position for him to win it for us. And, hey, it was just great. It took a lot out of us. And the coaches just made sure that we got a lot of rest so we can be ready tomorrow.
You guys obviously have played in your share of big games. You seem to thrive on those.
Yeah, we do. I mean, we got big-time players. I mean, ain't no chokers out here. We big-time, like Dick Vitale.
Khalid, any final words before I let you celebrate this one?
We just, no, not really. Say what's up to the North Side. What's up with y'all? Baby in the house. Let's go.
All right, well, send it back to Dick. Minneapolis North going for the repeat. Back to you.
And they may indeed go back-to-back. Minneapolis North with a convincing win over Staples-Motley. The Polars will face either Fertile Beltrami or Minnehaha Academy. That game will get started in about 25 minutes.
Attention! This season's sun-kissed oranges are especially juicy and delicious, which may cause intense cravings for even more. Prepare yourself for a mouth-watering experience with plenty of vitamin C. Get sun-kissed oranges now at your local supermarket.
You've got a big game to watch. You've got a big crowd to feed. And you've only got one bag of chips. Which is why Super America helps out in more ways than you can imagine. With row after row of munchies. Sandwiches to satisfy the hungriest crowd. And high-performance gasoline like Super America's 92 octane with Injector Guard Plus. Super America. When it comes to making you look super, we never stop.
Being a parent means getting the most for your money. Introducing the 96 Lumina. For a lot less than Ford Taurus GL, you get 24-hour roadside assistance, a bumper-to-bumper limited warranty, and now you can get a great lease payment on a well-equipped Lumina. You see, we've worried about everything, so you don't have to. The 1996 Lumina, a car your family can trust.
Test drive one today at your Heartland Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Karen Yeager's a First Bank customer, not just because she can transfer funds by phone through Fastline, or use her Checkster card instead of writing checks, or get an account summary from the Fast Bank ATM machine. Karen's a loyal customer because only First Bank puts so many ways of handling her family's money right at her fingertips.
Alert! Experts advise eating 5 servings of fruits and vegetables every day for better health. We advise including more sun-kissed oranges. They help you meet your goal of 5 a day and make your mouth very, very happy. Get some now.
Welcome back to the St. Paul Civic Center. Minneapolis North with a convincing win over Staples-Motley. They're in the championship again. And if they win the championship, when we have this historical perspective 20 years from now, maybe when the high school league looks back on the Sweet 16 format and wants to do it again, they'll look back in the mid-90s and say, Sweet 16, Minneapolis North. But they've got one more game to go. Fertile Beltrami against Minnehaha Academy, and the winner of that game will take on Minneapolis North tomorrow. But of the 3 North wins, this may have been the most convincing win, the best win, because they had control of this game from the outset.
They really did, and they showed a lot of different weapons, a lot of different looks, and that's what really makes it hard for anybody who tries to play them, their opponents. How do you beat North? That's the question. How do you stop Khalid El-Amin? Nobody knows the answer to that question unless somebody can figure that out before tomorrow. It's all over.
The big hope for whoever plays North is that they miss their shots. Well, they didn't miss their shots. In fact, Ozzie Lockhart did not miss a shot in the first half. He had a tremendous first half. 6 field goals, 6 for 6 for the from the field, including a 3-point basket, and he is our American Dairy Association player of the game. He'll receive a certificate and a donation sent to Minneapolis North on behalf of Ozzie Lockhart from your local dairy farmers who ask, got milk. The Polars shot 64% from the field in the first half and then had a big run in the fourth quarter with Khalid El-Amin out of the ball game. Very impressive performance, and for those of us who think North might be a better team this year than last year, I don't think they did anything in this game against Staples-Motley to dispel that notion.
That's right, and obviously offensively they've got so many weapons, but defensively I think that's where they cause most teams their problems. Ozzie Lockhart, player of the game, had an outstanding defensive performance tonight as well. And
you can handle the defensive pressure maybe for a quarter, 2 or 3, but eventually it seems like it always breaks a team. And in tonight's case, they didn't have to wait till the fourth quarter. Staples-Motley with 10 first half turnovers, and it really cost them as the Polars rolled to an easy win. We've got Fertile Beltrami and Minnehaha Academy getting started in about 20 minutes or so. We'll take a break, have a news update, and be back with more from the Civic Center in a moment.